Hello there, my friends. In today's tutorial, we're going to be looking at my favorite joining method for crochet and knitting, the mattress stitch. The mattress stitch is also known as the woven stitch, the ladder stitch, and sometimes the locking or invisible mattress stitch. To make this video, I compared the instructions from 8 knitting and crochet instruction books. The consensus across them was that this stitch should be worked with the pieces of fabric laying flat and the right sides facing up. I want everyone watching this video to feel confident that I know the right way to do this. There's a lot of kind of weird information out there, and so what I'm showing you in this video is what's the recommended way to do this from the Craft Yarn Council Instructor's Manual booklet, and then it's also the way that is taught in the most popular crochet and knitting manuals that I currently own. It's also important to note that I'm using a contrasting yarn so that you can see what I am doing, but you should be using a yarn that matches your project. So we're going to begin stitching with the fabric that's on the right hand side, and I've just put my needle into the bottom left hand corner. I'm going to be sure to leave a tail that's long enough to sew in later. So now I'm going to bring the yarn over to the fabric that I have on the left, and again I'm going in through the very bottom loop of the chain there. So just catching both loops in the corner, and then now I'm going to go up a stitch. So just moving the yarn up to the next row, and the repeat for this is over and up. So now I go over to the opposite side, then I'm going to go up a row on that same piece of fabric, and then I go over to the other piece of fabric. I'm just taking my time to make sure I'm not splitting the yarn as I work. So I've just gone over, and next I'm going to go up one row. So over and up, over and up, over and up. It's really straightforward, and once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quickly. The hardest part, I would say, is making sure that you're sewing into the same row as the opposite side. If it makes it easier for you, you can use stitch markers to bring everything together. Now let's just take a look here, and you can kind of see what the pattern is looking like. And you can see how it is almost a zigzag. We're just going over and up, over and up. So I've just crossed over, so I'm going to go up again. And then we're going to go into the other piece of fabric and just bring it all together here. So you can see that I'm working rather loosely. You don't want to do this very tight because it will warp your fabric. So now that we've worked a couple inches really loosely here, I'm just going to gently tug on the working yarn and the tail end, pulling it nice and evenly again, but without distorting the fabric. And you can see how that just kind of came together like a zipper. It's really, you can't even see the dark yarn in there very well at all. So you just repeat. I've just gone over, so my next stitch will be going up into the row above. So now that we've gone up one row, we go over to the opposite side, and then we go up to the next row, over to the opposite side, up and over, up and over. It's really straightforward. There just seems to be a whole lot of confusion about how this stitch is worked, and a lot of the tutorials that are available online or on blogs show figure eights and a lot of really crazy things that add a lot of extra yarn and bulk to the stitch. So the key thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing crochet joins is you want to use as little yarn as possible while making it very secure. And this seems to be the best stitch to do that when it's worked properly, going up and over, up and over. So now we're just working on the last couple stitches, bringing everything together nice and evenly. And in just a second here, I'm going to slow down the footage so that you guys can get a really clear look on how I make that thread just completely disappear. You're going to want to just pull it like that at the top, but you can see that's not doing much, and it doesn't do anything when you pull from the bottom either. So what you need to do is carefully pinch near the top and then pull what was the working yarn. You then need to even out the fabric so that it's not distorted from you pulling it. And you can see there how that brought everything together. You can hardly see that really dark purple yarn and hidden within this light color yarn, which I think is really amazing. When you look on the back side, you can see that it is a little bit more bulky. There's just more raised edges back there. It's not that big of a difference, but if you're really nitpicky, I would start doing this with the right sides facing up. I don't think any non-crocheter would be able to see that seam. It is beautiful and clean and flat, and you can't, if you use a matching color, you absolutely cannot see the yarn in there. If you learned something today, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about this technique, please feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.